Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, based on where you are joining us from today. My name is Shitanshu, and I'm a co presenter today, along with Pallavi. So, I welcome you all to the PMaxStellar session. It is going to be a 1 hour of live stream session where we'll talk about agenda items such as in and around Performance Max. So, as I said, I'm Shitanshu and I'm a performance expert at Google, been engaged with Google for over 5 years now. I'll be a co presenter along with Pallavi, a colleague of mine. Over to you, Pallavi.
Thanks, Shitanshu. Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. First, I'll shower immense gratitude for you all to join us today and show keen interest towards this camp. Shitanshu and I together will ensure that we as a team solicit a bag full of valuable learnings from this stellar while addressing most of your queries throughout the discussion, right? And with that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Pallavi, your immediate POC. While having a good experience in Google Ads for a long time now, I do understand the challenges that you face while working on the ads interface, right? And that's where both me and Jitanshu would try to mediate your expectation with our entire presentation today, right? Now, before we begin, please feel free to drop in your queries on chat. Uh, my team will get back to you and make sure that they respond to all the queries there, right? Now, we have some exciting opportunities for our attendees today. We invite you all to join our community of product experts. This is a vibrant community of super users who play a very critical role in Google's ecosystem. And now, some of you are more excited about the Google swag. Engage with us through this live stream over the next 1 hour and ask questions, give product feedback, and then prizes will go to all the folks who have both engaged during the session and also fill out a feedback form via the link here with the QR code, right? So, the form that's very important. Please use this QR code or the link in the chat to fill out the form that will have a very valid CID and an email address. And in order to qualify for anything that you see here on the screen, we have both these two things, the QR code and also the link. So quickly just open your phone and scan the QR code and fill in the details, including your CID and email address. I'll wait for 10 seconds here so that you all can quickly scan the QR code and then we move ahead. All right. So we have got a bunch of interesting content lined up for you all today. We will talk about what Performance Max is, followed by understanding the different marketing objectives it is compatible with. And furthermore, we'll also talk about a few optimization procedures and insights that we derive from Pmax, thereby scaling the overall campaign further, right? Now, first of all, uh, First of all, let's take a look of how you can use AI to uncover new pockets of demand by marketing at the end of the consumers, right? No matter how unpredictable their journeys may be, and why insights, reporting, and measurement is actually a cornerstone of AI powered solutions like PMax, right? So, consumer journeys here are now moving towards targets. Purchase decisions online are more complex, dynamic, and nuanced than ever, right? On one hand, consumers are turning into real product detectives. We observe this research obsession as people explore and evaluate their options more than ever before. 61% of the consumers are using five or more online sources before they buy, like search, watching an online, going to maps. This is at all an all-time high, even compared to the heights of COVID, right? And here we are searching, we're seeing searches that are more refined and specific. Consumers aren't just looking for apparel; they're searching for matching pajamas for couples, right? So now consumers are more specific about what specific product they want to buy instead of just having mundane or regular keywords like want to buy a shoe, want to buy a clip. They have proper details about that specific shoe, whether they want to go forward with a white one or a blue one, whether it's a sneaker or it's a regular shoe. All of these detail matters a lot, and that's what has involved the overall digital space, right? Now let's get into introducing Performance Max, right? Now, This slide shows a very beautiful evolution of where we have come through in the last 15 to 20 days, 20 years of running shopping ads from Google, right? When standard shopping was introduced a few years back, feed driven search intent based ads were being popped up, consisting only of the first two properties, that is, shopping and search. And with smart shopping campaigns that came around 2018 to 2022, we are now showing ads on three other properties additionally, which were Gmail, Display, and YouTube. And with Performance Max campaign that was introduced 2 years back, we have added a notch higher by showing ads in the last two properties even, that is Discovery and Maps. So to summarize, we have evolved from 2 to 5 and now to 7. This means that our campaigns are now cross-channel in nature, giving up the opportunity to buy ads from single campaign across all Google properties, helping you drive more online sales, leads, and also store visits. Now, Performance Max is a combination of AI and automation together, right? Now, so what does it mean for marketers? For marketer, this means that getting the right message in front of the right consumer at the right time is a constantly moving target. And in order to be present at those key moments on all of those paths to purchase, campaign can be set up from the start to be truly AI powered, right? Max campaigns can actually exactly do that. You set your goal, your budget, and provide some core assets, and then Pmax works across all of your advertising surfaces to discover new pockets of demand and deliver the highest performing media campaign for you, right? Now, the future of Performance Max campaign is here. We don't do search or display. We don't like CPC or impression share. We activate performance goals like driving online sales, lead generation, or offline sales, reaching customers whether they are online, and thanks to all the machine learning based infrastructure that are proven to be the best till now, right? Now, an important game changer here is the fact that one can get more conversions at a similar cost per action using Performance Max campaign, right? The AI here finds the highest value conversions at the best possible ROI across the entire Google network space. And doing this, it tries to prioritize your business goals like sales or leads and to optimize targeting bids, budget allocations, and view of your ad placements, right? Now, these agile campaigns enable your budgets to follow demand and growth, whether they are across the channels and invest inventory that will deliver the most value to you, right? Now, while this may be a change from channel specific approaches, some marketing teams use its worth and it is based on the results, right? When Performance Max campaign came out a couple of years ago, we were seeing 13% more conversions at a similar cost per action. And now that people all across the digital landscape are using Performance Max, we see an uplift of around 18%. Now, here I have a couple of questions that I want to answer for you, right? So, how does Performance Max help you? How does a marketer ensure that he or she is reaching the target group at the right place and at the right time? There are three ways in which Performance Max actually helps you answer these questions. First, it helps you have multiple conversations or multiple connections with the users in the form of interacting with them at multiple touch points like search, shopping, display, discovery network, and so on, using the entire Google Ads inventory. You can also multiply your conversions and conversion value by optimizing for the highest ROAS conversion opportunities. And then having the campaign set to run in all channels while using all these inventories, we talk about multiplying expertise by sharing relevant insights using these campaigns, right? Now, lastly, we also talk about the ways through which you can also analyze these performance drivers for your clients. You can create insights on high performing products or asset groups and suggest your clients certain best practices to capitalize on them. These insights altogether will set a platform for you to plan on your next campaign structure accordingly, right? Now, so whether your goal is selling online, or driving requests for a quote, or trying to get more store foot traffic into your stores, right? If your business focuses on any of these goals, Performance Max is the newest way to drive more of these for your business. Another new feature that we have within Performance Max is the new customer acquisition mode. Now, this feature helps you expand your audience base by bringing in new set of customers rather than retargeting the ads to same audiences in the upper funnel of the consumer journey, right? And based on our internal analysis, it has been deduced that advertisers who are using this feature have improved their new customer ratio by around 13% with a reduced acquisition cost of around 19%. Right? So this new customer acquisition mode is something which is focused towards getting more customers new to your business who have not purchased before and are showing much more interest compared to the previous or the returning customers that we had within our system, right? Now, while we know how different Performance Max campaign is from the rest of the search, display, discovery campaigns, etc., the key feature that we are aware of is its potential to target multiple channels from a single campaign. With that, Performance Max also has the power to utilize the cross channel bidding mechanism in a more optimized manner. You can now see unexpected channel to deliver you better results compared to any previous campaign performance. So that's the entire magic of Performance Max campaign. It's not just focusing on one channel, but it's ensuring that you have your visibility across all other channels and networks in Google Ads, in Google Network, right? Now, while creating Performance Max, what matters is also the quality of inputs you feed within your Performance Max campaign, right? And that's where human intervention in combination with AI plays a very crucial role. Behind every campaign success is the marketer leading the way. You can your input can help differentiate your business and drive better results from the AI, right? And the key levers you can use to steer the power of these artificial intelligence include clear conversion goals, high quality creative assets, product feeds, audience signals, etc. And also the biddings and advanced goals that are mentioned, right? So you have to ensure that the quality of input that you are giving into the system will actually help you deliver better results in terms of the overall campaign performance, right? Now, one of the common question that we have addressed a lot is how does a search campaign and a performance max campaign work together? One thing that we explicitly want to share with our practitioners is that search and performance max together is a power pairing, and this combination will help you win maximum auctions. While search is only limited to just one channel, using broad match keywords with smart bidding and also good quality responsive search ads will enable the search campaign to perform better based on the respective marketing objectives and goals that you've set within your campaign, right? And then clubbing this campaign with Performance Max will help in a better keyword coverage with AI technologies and will also ensure to cover all those interventions that your search queries are not able to cater. So if you remember right towards in the beginning of the conversation where I had spoken about how specific the users are in terms of looking for a specific product in the market, right? I use certain examples of buying a white shoe or a white clip, which is more specific than the queries which we had in the initial stages when people were actually trying to make a purchase online, right? Now, how do you start a Performance Max campaign? There are a few steps that are enlisted here, starting with defining a goal based on your business model, then followed by opting into the Performance Max campaign, determining the appropriate budget and bid strategy in the form of target ROAS or cost per acquisition. And along with that, adding a few low hanging settings like geolocation, conversion actions, and a bunch of other things are also advisable. Now, the fifth one includes adding a bunch of assets like text, images, videos, headline descriptions, and also the audience signals, which allows you to add more audience cohorts, which you believe that the system should go after based on observation or targeting, right? And lastly, we also have adding in a few extensions at a campaign or an asset group level for overall better performance. Now, here is a list of certain prerequisites that uh, you should keep handy or follow before launching the campaign. Our team will be sharing the deck, and you have this deck readily available on YouTube, so you can always refer to the slide and see what are the major checkpoints that you need to ensure for a specific launch of the PMax campaign, right? And now, this is the best combination of an optimal asset mix, right? So, over here, the details that you see are actually certain best practices that you have to ensure when it comes to adding in proper text to your ad campaign, and also adding images, videos, and logos. So, all these four buckets have had certain criterias that you can make sure once you adopt it will give you better performance compared to the previous older campaigns that we had been following, right? Now, performance max for your marketing objectives. First, we're going to talk about how performance max helps you deliver your travel goals, right? Now, it automatically adds hotel inventory targeting to drive more specific brand traffic on search, right? And this simplified targeting uses hotel information like location, amenities, ratings, and reviews for coverage, and also overall landing page control. For inventory, it's the same as Performance Max, with added coverage for their hotel property queries on search. And for that subset of property queries, it's incremental even to a dynamic search ad and comes with an added benefit of your overall landing page control. Now, Performance Max for travel goals has the same functionality as a regular Performance Max campaign, but it is built and enhanced specifically only for hotels, like I mentioned before. Here, we are able to do this because of the rich licensed content we have from the hotel properties around the world, like I mentioned, which includes the images, descriptions, amenities, and also the unique attributes. Next, we're going to discuss Performance Max for lead generation, which will be taken over by Shatanshu. Uh, Make sure you'll drop in your queries and comments on the chat box, and our team will take it back from you. Over to you, Shatanshu.
Thanks, Pallavi. Thanks for taking us through the initial segment of the session today. I'm back, and thank you so much, everyone who is putting up your queries in the chat. We are looking into those questions. I've replied to a few of you. We'll pick up a few questions from there and put it on the screen as well, so that everyone here on the call also get to know the answer to those queries and questions, right? But keep them coming. As I said, we'll try to address all those questions during this 1 hour of session. If you're not able to answer all your queries during the session because of time constraint, we may get back to you over email clarifying any question that you may have asked. Now, one of the questions that we received in the chat is from Harshit Verma. He asks, will there be cannibalization between search and PMax if run together, or will the best performing ad be shown without competing? The answer to which is pretty straightforward. So if you have a search campaign and you have a PMax campaign, and both of them qualifies for a particular search query, right? Now, if your search campaign has a keyword which is an exact match of that search query, there's no competition. Your search campaign will win all those auctions, which means if Pmax and search is qualifying for the same search query, if search campaign has exact match of the search query as a keyword, your search campaign will always win. In other cases, whichever of these two campaigns have a better ad rank will win that auction. What it means is that they're not going to compete with each other, but rather of those two campaigns, whichever have better ad ranking will by default qualify. So there will be no internal conflict. So there will be no cannibalization either. I just wanted to call that out for everyone else who may have a similar question as that of Harshit. We also got a question from Edwin. He says, "Can I clarify when the presenter mentioned more visibility across different channels? How do we see how much is Performance Max showing in each channel?" What I have given you in the chat is a link to a Help Center article that tells you how you can generate or how you can create placement reports. Now, placement reports are of two types. There are some predefined placement reports that are readily available, which you can look into from insights and reports within campaign. And then there are also custom placement reports that you can generate. And you can create those custom placement reports, which gives you a look into all the performance max placements where your ads are visible. You also get other insights around your campaign performance, which includes your impression and other metrics around performance max campaign. So that's a way to through which you can actually look at your campaign's placement split, and that way you'll be able to have a clear idea and a transparency of how much which placement is contributing how much to your campaign performance. All right, I think there are a couple of other questions also. I'll take up those as well. There's a question from Abdul. He says, "Can we run only video ads with Pmax?" So that's not possible, Abdul. And there's a particular reason for which we are not doing it, which is if you want to create a video ad only, you still have video ads which you can create otherwise through your Google Ads account. Now, the idea with Performance Max is to have a campaign that optimizes your visibility across all the placements, across all the inventories, across all the networks. So when you run a Performance Max campaign, by default, you choose to have your visibility across all the inventories. Now, depending on which objective you have selected, depending on the goals that you have, depending on the bids and the targets that you have set, your campaign's visibility will be optimized across all the networks, across all the channels. So if your campaign is targeted towards an objective which can be fulfilled more often with a video inventory, you will see that contribution of video inventory is higher when it comes to placement report, right? Similarly, if the campaign has high potential of converting through search as compared to other networks, you will see that the search is contributing higher percentage of traffic, a higher percentage of impressions, and other metrics to your Performance Max campaign. So Performance Max campaign, as I said, is channel agnostic. It runs across all the channels, and that's the core of Performance Max, which is to optimize your visibility, to optimize your bid in a way that you are getting as much of conversions or as much of conversion value as possible by optimizing your visibility across all the networks. Having said that, if you want to run a campaign which only runs on video ads, you still have a solution, which is you can go to Google Ads, create a video campaign from scratch. We have a question from Dinesh Kumar Muthukumar. He says, "I'm using a script to track the PMax campaign spending for each channel, but I have data, but I cannot implement with Performance Max campaign." So there are scripts which helps you do enormous number of things, which otherwise is not possible. So if you are utilizing it well enough, right, Dinesh, you can continue doing that. What we are trying to do is we are trying to give more teeth and more transparency to Performance Max. So in recent time, you may have seen that there were new insight reports that we launched, which helps you get more insight into your Performance Max campaign, and its metrics and contributions from channels and platforms. So we'll keep on improving that. But yeah, if you're using a script, good to know. Please keep continuing utilizing a script, which is another way of generating reports, and that's a good way to do if you're comfortable with the scripts. We have more questions from Neeraj, Maddie, Mendula. We'll take up those questions in a little bit. And for the time being, I'll continue and I'll resume the presentation. And then we'll take another pause after probably 15 to 20 minutes to take up more questions. But again, as I said, thanks for putting in all those queries in the chat. Please let them come in, right? Add more queries, ask as much of questions as you have. For those of us that have, for those of you whose questions I addressed recently, if you still have any cross question, if you still have doubts, feel free to put further questions in the chat and we'll take up those queries as well. All right. With that said, quick recap of what Pallavi said. Pallavi said, "Hey, Performance Max is a good fit for a few marketing objectives, right? And those marketing objectives are lead gen, online sales, and omni-channel sales. You also have hotel or travel goal, which is one of the supported goals that is feasible to be attracted through Performance Max campaign. What we'll do in the next segment is we'll talk about how you can use Performance Max for lead generation. And we have also added a few segments which will help you optimize your Performance Max campaign when you're using it for lead gen. Okay, now first and foremost, remember that Performance Max is a complementary campaign to your primary campaign when it comes to lead gen, right? So if lead gen is your objective, and if you're running search campaign, if you're running a discovery campaign, or if you're running any other type of campaign which is currently your primary campaign for lead gen, remember that Performance Max is going to complement that existing campaign. Do not replace your existing primary campaign with a Performance Max campaign. Use Performance Max campaign for lead gen as a complementary to your existing setup of campaigns. Now, when you do that, you may have this question: hey, I currently run a search campaign, and now you're suggesting me to complement it with a Performance Max campaign. How is that combination going to help me? How is that combination of a search campaign and a Performance Max campaign will help me maximize my performance? Now, there are two ways through which it is done. One, by driving more performance through automation. Since you're adopting into Performance Max, and Performance Max is all about automation, is all about Google's AI and its capability of optimizing your visibility and your cross channel bidding strategy. What happens is that you are utilizing and you're getting better performance through these automation solutions, right? So you explore the full potential of Google Ads machine learning and AI, and you're able to generate a higher performance through Performance Max campaign on top of your existing search campaign. The other benefit that you get when you club Performance Max with search campaign is that you're also driving more performance through unlocking cross channel inventory while meeting your CPA and ROAS goals. So whenever you create a Performance Max campaign, what we suggest you to do is, if you're setting a target for your CPA or target for your ROAS, make sure that that target is in line with your existing campaign. So if you're running a search campaign with a TROAS of, say, hypothetically X percentage, consider that X% to be your target ROAS for Performance Max campaign as well. And when you run Performance Max campaign, when it does, it unlocks all the other inventories which you are not capturing through your search campaign. So now you are able to meet your TROAS or meet your CPA, at the same time get incremental conversion and conversion value as well, because these channels were unexplored with search only campaign, right? So that's one benefit that you get. So these are a few ways through which Performance Max, if clubbed with search campaign, can actually benefit your account. Now, one of the things that we get to hear is, hey, we tried running a Performance Max for lead gen. How do we ensure that the quality of leads that we generate is of top notch? How do we make sure that our lead quality is also of utmost, quality, and then we are getting not only volume and value of lead flow higher, but also the quality of lead also improves. Now, there are three ways to do it. There are, in fact, multiple ways to do it, but three of which I'll talk about. These are called conversion value rules. So when you create a Performance Max campaign, you have an option to choose conversion value rules, in which you get to select different signals, and precisely there are three signals currently available. You can either choose audience signal as a value rule, or you can choose geolocation as a signal for conversion value rules, or you can choose device as a signal for conversion value rules. Now, when you choose any of these signals, you get to set a particular value to that particular audience or particular geographical location or device. So, for example, if I have a set of audiences that are more accurate and they have more tendency of converting to my business as in the previous campaigns, what I'll do is I'll select those audiences, if they are in-market audiences or if they are custom audiences or if those are first-party audiences. I'll select those audiences and I'll say, hey, if I'm getting conversion from these audiences, my conversion value is going to be higher, which means they are more valued to my business as compared to everyone else. When you set those conversion value rules, what you do is you incentivize high quality traffic, you incentivize high quality leads, and you will see there's a significant improvement in the quality of leads that you're driving to your business or to your client's business. So I'll sincerely request you all to start utilizing conversion value rules if you're not already, in order to improve the quality of leads when it comes to Performance Max for lead gen. And that brings us to the next marketing objective for which Performance Max is a good fit, which is store goals. So if you run Performance Max for store goals, it helps you find the right person at the right time with the right masses on the right platform. There are as with any other Performance Max campaign, you have all the inventories in Google Ads at your exposure. If I talk about three key strategies that you may have when it comes to running Performance Max for a store goal, is one, you may want to maximize traffic for all locations. So In this case, if your client or your business have, say, 50 different locations, you may want to maximize traffic across all the locations. That can be one of the use case where you use Performance Max for a store goal. Other would be if you want to support specific locations. So if you notice that in those 50 locations there are some location which is not performing as well, and you want to support such specific location, then that can be another use case or another area where you can use Performance Max for store goals to improve or to support specific location. The third use case would be if you want to drive store visits through product showcasing. You just want to showcase your product and drive more store visits as compared to online sales. So those are the three different use cases or different store goals objective for which Performance Max can be useful. Now, if I look at the first one, which is maximizing traffic across all location, again, there can be three different use cases. One, you need to drive store visits because your offline customers are more valuable as compared to online customer. So you may see that in some of the businesses, offline customers brings more conversion value as compared to an online customer. And if that's one of the case, you may want to drive, maximize traffic across all your offline locations, because you know if they once they reach your location, they tend to spend more, and hence you want to maximize traffic across all your location. The other use case would be that you have an annual sale which is coming up, and you want to drive as much of traffic as possible across all the locations. That can be another use case. And the third use case is that what can I do to drive my offline visits and sales? So you're doing pretty good. You're pretty doing decently well when it comes to online sales, but your offline sales or offline visits are not as good. So in that case, you again may want to utilize maximize traffic across all location as a goal for your marketing Performance Max campaign. So those are three different use cases that you may have when it comes to maximizing traffic across all locations in Performance Max for store goals. Now, if we talk about online sales, this is where things get more interesting. Because in online sales, we had something called smart shopping campaign, which was very widely used, and rightly so. So, smart shopping campaign was a game changer when we launched it, because that was the first time you could run a campaign which would allow you to get traffic from cross inventories. We included search, third-party display, and O&O display as an integrated solution when smart shopping campaign was launched. Now, if you look at Performance Max for online sales, it's an upgrade of Smart Shopping Campaign. So what we did is we brought in all the best things about Smart Shopping Campaign, and those of you who have used Smart Shopping Campaign in past would be able to relate to it. What we did is we brought in all the best features from Smart Shopping Campaign, and we added additional features, and we said, hey, let's make it more powerful, and that's how Performance Max came into existence. So if you look at inventory, for example, smart shopping campaign used to come with search, third-party display, O&O display. So we continue having those inventories even in Performance Max, but we added more inventories to facilitate Performance Max campaign. You also have now dynamic search ads, you have discovery ads, you have YouTube in stream, you have maps and whatnot. So Performance Max got additional teeth when it comes to inventory. We have now more inventories to support Performance Max campaign. And since there are more inventories, you also have more formats of ad which can be run through Performance Max. So earlier you had search, again, 3P display and O&O. Now you also have text ads, you have YouTube in-stream ads, you have map pins and whatnot. So format also included additional features. Similarly for bidding, we used to have maximized conversion value, and there was no maximized conversion with smart shopping campaign. But with Performance Max, we included maximized conversion with an optional CPA as an additional bidding strategy that you can utilize now. Similarly, for control and transparency, we already had insights, we already had performance planner, conversion value rules, which we brought in for Performance Max as well. But we added on top of that what we call audience signals, which is very significantly helpful in optimizing your campaign performance. So that's how Performance Max came into existence, which is it is an upgrade of smart shopping campaign. Now, one thing that I really want to talk about is when it comes to smart Performance Max campaign, there is a strategy that we added in Performance Max campaign, which is what if you want to optimize your campaign for new customers. So, for example, you're running campaigns on search, you're running campaigns on display, discovery, and whatnot. You want to use Performance Max, but you want to use Performance Max to generate net new customers to your business. Your idea is that with Performance Max, I'll tap and I'll identify those opportunities which none of my other campaign have already explored and have got, right? So that's where Performance Max can be useful as well. Now, Performance Max have something called New Customer Acquisition Goal, which is NCA, widely known as, right? Now, when you run Performance Max campaign in settings, you have something called Customer Acquisition Setting. In Customer Acquisition Setting, you have a tick box to choose, which says, do you want to optimize your campaign for acquiring new customers? Now, if you choose that as yes, then you have two more options. So first, you have to opt in and you have to say, yes, I want to optimize my campaign in an order to acquire new customers. And in that setting, you have two options. One, either you want to only bid for new customers, which means all the customers that you currently already have, you don't want to show your ad to them, right? So you are saying, hey, I have existing customers, they are there, I'm targeting them through other campaigns, or I don't want to target them at all. I only want new customer acquisition. So that's the other setting that you see in the UI added on the screen here, right? Now the first setting that you have, which says you are okay getting existing traffic or existing customer as a traffic or existing customer converting again. However, you value your new customer more than your existing customer. So that's another setting that you can choose, right? So you have two settings within new customer acquisition. One, where you say, I only want to acquire new customers. I do not want my existing customers to see my ad or to come to my website. And the other is you say, hey, I'm okay if they come to our website. However, I would prefer getting a new customer to my website, and I value new customer more than my existing customer, right? So those are two settings that you can choose when it comes to Performance Max campaign, and this was highly successful. A lot of advertiser and a lot of agencies have benefited from new customer acquisition goal, right? And how the question that we receive usually, and I want to also preempt this question, is how does Google know who is an existing customer and who is a new customer? So to identify an existing customer, what we do is we use some of your data and some of our signals. So if you look at here, there are three different ways. One is customer list. So you upload the customer list and you say, hey, these are my existing customer. That's one way, and that's a simplest way to put data and say, hey, these are my existing customers, and I don't want to target them, or I value them less than my new customer. The other process is through auto detection. So Google algorithm used to determine whether a user is a new or returning customer. So we look at a look back window of around 540 days. And if there's anyone who converted previously, they will be automatically detected through the tags that you have on your website. And then we also have something called global site tag, which we are all aware of. So when it comes to Google site tag, it is able to identify conversions that happened in past, and it is able to store those data. And then you are able to make sure we are able to make sure that those targets or those audiences who already converted on your website is not being targeted again if you have chosen new customer acquisition and only target new customer as a goal. All right, so those are three different ways through which Google is able to identify existing customer, and then by able to optimize your campaign towards acquiring new customer. Now, when we did this, we saw some insight and some use cases where the new customer acquisition goal can even be further optimized, which means you don't only want to say, for example, those use cases where you want to acquire new customer, right? But at the same time, you want to acquire new customers with high value optimization, which means you want to acquire new customer, but those new customers that have tendency of having a high predictive lifetime value, they are the ones who is your primary target. Which means if you have say five individuals that can be a new customer acquisition for your business, of those five, two of them have decently high lifetime value, predicted lifetime value. You want now your campaign to optimize towards those two individuals. You don't only want to acquire new customer, but you want to acquire new customers with high value. That option, that setting is also now available in Performance Max. And when you optimize, as I said, it works in order to find those customers which seems to have a high predicted LTV, and such customers are targeted more often than a customer who may be a new customer acquisition, but they do not have high predicted lifetime value. So you can not only optimize your campaign to hire or to acquire new customer, but you can optimize your campaign to acquire new customer with high lifetime predicted value as well. All right. Now, some of the best practices that you need to keep in mind when it comes to optimizing your Performance Max campaign for lead gen, that includes promotional timing. So if you have any promotional cycle, if there's a holiday season, if there is a promotional cycle of of certain duration that is coming up, make sure that you set up your campaign and you set up your promotional assets at least 2 to 3 weeks in advance. The reason being that when you have those assets created at least 2 to 3 days in advance, you have enough time to make changes, because once you launch your campaign specifically for promotional timing, it's difficult to go back and make adjustment to your campaign. So make sure that you at least have 2 to 3 weeks of buffer time, that you create your campaign, you set up your assets, and then wait before launching the campaign when the promotional timing is around the corner. Also prioritize visual assets. This works wonder for sales based campaign, which means ensure that you have enough display and banner and video assets added to your Performance Max campaign, because that helps you optimize your visibility, that helps you drive more conversions and more sales to your business. Also run Performance Max in parallel with search keyword campaign. I think I said it when we started talking about online sales Performance Max campaign. I cannot stress enough, do not replace your existing keyword campaign with Performance Max, because search keyword campaign will continue serving for keyword based targeting. On the top of it, when you club Performance Max, it helps you filter and target those non-keyword based searches, which and also target your campaign and reach to those audiences which is not probably searching on search, but rather spending time on other channels like display or video, and so on and so forth. So club your Performance Max in parallel with search keyword campaigns, specifically when it comes to online sales and lead gen marketing objective. All right. Now, how do you optimize your campaign? So far we learned about different marketing objective, and what settings, what options do you have? How can you optimize your campaign specific to those marketing objective? In the next segment, we'll talk about how do you optimize a Performance Max campaign. Now, this is one of my favorite slide, by the way. So if you look at this slide, this tells you about four different stages of a life cycle when it comes to campaigns, right? So you start your campaign by planning. So you plan the right marketing budget, you plan the right assets. That's planning stage, and then you have something called implement, and then you have optimize and measure, and ultimately you reach to a stage where you monitor the performance of your campaign, and that becomes a full cycle when it comes to running any campaign for that matter. Now, if you look at Performance Max, um, and if you look at each of these stages, for example, when you look at plan, we have sophisticated tools provided within Google Ads that helps you plan better. For example, you have something called Performance Planner, which finds the right balance between efficiency and scale, and it gives you the exact or it gives you a rough idea of how much of budget should you plan. If you put a certain budget, what kind of performance can you expect? So Performance Planner is one of the tools that helps you identify and plan your budget, marketing budget for your Performance Max campaign. Then you have something called Video Creation Tool, which is again part of Google Ads, which helps you create video assets. So in case you do not have a video asset already available, you don't have a studio to create those videos, you can use Video Creation Tool, which is a drag and drop, edit the text, edit the images, and you have a video which is readily available to be utilized for Performance Max campaign. Similarly, you have OptiScore recommendations that helps you adopt into Performance Max better. It identify those campaigns that can be migrated or integrated or adopted into Performance Max campaign. Now, if you look at implement, you again have some tools at your exposure. Some of one of you I think mentioned about scripts. So scripts can be utilized at implementation stage. You have APIs. You also have Google Ads editor that allows you to do it at scale. Similarly, for optimize and measure, you again have tools like optimization score, experiments that you can create. You can create an A/B experiment. You can create experiments which are there to help you find incrementality cases, and then you can also have some experiments that can help you identify the changes and how that impact the performance of a Performance Max campaign. So that's those are the tools that you have at optimize and measure stage. Then when you go to monitor, you can have insight space that helps you create readily available insight reports. You also have Google Ads mobile app that helps you monitor your campaign on the go. So at different stages of a campaign cycle, you have tools, and there are supplemented tools within Google Ads that helps you monitor, that helps you optimize, that helps you implement, and that helps you plan your performance max campaign. Now, when it comes to optimizing your Performance Max campaign, you need to understand how a Performance Max campaign works. So, the first stage is that you define a goal. You set a goal, or you set multiple goals as well when it comes to Performance Max campaign. So, that's your base, and that's where the campaign takes all its inspiration from. Depending on the goal that you have selected, campaigns will optimize itself accordingly. The next stage is where you put input data that includes audience signals, that include conversion values, that includes conversion tracking quality that you have, images, videos, all the assets, the landing page, the UX, the SEO of your page, the shopping feed, bids, NCA budgets. These are all input that we as an individual provide to a Performance Max campaign. Now, depending on the goal that we have defined and the input that we have provided, Performance Max optimizes and ensures that we are achieving our goals with the inputs that is provided, and then you get a result out of it, and then you measure it back, and then you regroup. You again look at the definition of your goal. You again look at the inputs, and then you again optimize your campaign. Now, all the inputs that you see here, which is from data, creative, feeds, and forecast and settings bucket, they can all be monitored and optimized in order to help Performance Max campaign optimize further. Now, some of these inputs gives you higher control, and those can be optimized in a process in a way that you optimize your Performance Max campaign. Now, if you look at the key optimization levers that you have at your exposure, you have OptiScore and auto apply recommendation that you can opt into. Then you have budgets and ROAS target that you can alter, that you can change in order to optimize your campaign. Then you have insight space that gives you insights and that can help you optimize your campaign. Then you have audience signals and brand safety as well. And then you also have something called quality, feed quality in merchant center that helps you optimize the campaigns which are sales based or merchant, or which is integrated with your merchant center account. Now we'll talk about some of these in the coming slides. Now, when it comes to optimization through OptiScore recommendations, the OptiScore recommendation does support Performance Max campaign now. So if you go to your Google Ads account, if you go to optimization score or recommendation tab, and you filter for campaigns, Performance Max campaign, you will still see a lot of recommendations which ranges from bits and budget to automated campaign. These are some of the examples of those recommendations that may appear in your account. Now, the next lever to optimize was insights report. There are currently 9 types of insights that are available currently with Performance Max campaign. Those are auction insights, you have performance drivers, change history insights, diagnostic insights, asset insights, audience persona insights, search terms insight. You also have something called search trends, and then you have demand forecasts. These are 9 different insights that helps you in 2 ways. One, to understand your campaign's performance and how they are performing, and you have some of the answers readily available that you can take back to your client, right? And then it also helps you find those opportunities of improvement in your existing Performance Max campaign. Now, one of the insights, or one of the things that we really want to talk about, is something called troubleshooting, which is available in Performance Max campaign. So if you ever wonder that, hey, how come my performance have significantly gone down in last 1 week of time, or say last 1 month, you have something available now in Performance Max called troubleshooting. So if you compare your performance data from a certain custom date range, or predefined date range, to the previous date range, you get to one see the performance history, if there's an uplift, if there's an increment in performance, or if there's a downgrade in performance. If there's a downgrade in performance, you also get something which is called explanations. Explanations for Performance Max helps you understand what could be possible reason because of which your performance have gone down, and then you can take corrective actions. So this is very key integration in Performance Max campaign, and if you utilize it well, you will be able to optimize your campaign really well when it comes to certain decrease in performance, and you will be able to identify the reason and fix it. Now, the next one is customer match list, and dynamic remarketing list. So when it comes to Performance Max campaign, as I said, audiences can be used in three different ways. One, you can add them as a signal. So when you add audiences, it works as a signal. So Google Performance Max campaign and its AI is able to understand that these are the audiences which tend to convert. So it will identify similar audiences for your business. It will try to reach out to audiences which falls in that bracket or which are similar to that bracket of audiences that you have already added as an input through your customer match or through the dynamic remarketing list. Then the audiences are also used as an audience value rules. I think we discussed about this previously when we were talking about three different value rules that you can provide, three different signals through which you can set value rule, which included audience, geolocation, and devices. So audience, when added and applied with a value rule, you can say, hey, people who fall on this audience list, they are more valued to me, they are more tended to convert, they generate usually more revenue for my business. So that way you can set a value rule for your audience as well. And then you have something called new customer acquisition rule, where again, audiences play a critical role. As I explained earlier, when you set new customer acquisition goal, you say, hey, I value my new customers certain dollars more than the existing customer, and these are my existing customer. So audiences are significantly critical when it comes to optimizing Performance Max campaign. They can work as a signal, they can work as a value rule, or they can help you optimize your campaign for new customer acquisition goals. Now, some of you may have concern around brand safety and suitability when it comes to Performance Max, but I'm happy to share that most of the brand suitability control that you have in any other campaign is supported in Performance Max campaign as well. What we have done is we have tried to make a checklist of all the brand safety and suitability that includes inventory modes, content exclusion, and digital content level, which is available at account level, like in any other campaign. Then you have keyword exclusion, which can be applied at account level, and then you have now something called brand exclusion, which can be applied at campaign level as well. Then there's topic exclusion, which is currently available now. Placement exclusions are also available at MCC now, and then you have app categories exclusion, which can also be opted at account level. So brand safety and suitability control in Performance Max is as good as it can get. And you have all the brand safety features that you enjoy in any other campaigns within Google Ads, which is also supported and available in Performance Max. Now, the last topic for today's discussion is feed optimization. As I said earlier, feed can be a key component of optimizing your Performance Max campaign, especially if you're running a GMC feed based Performance Max campaign, which means you have a GMC feed for your client and you have integrated that with your Performance Max or Google Ads account, and you're running Performance Max campaign which targets the feed. Then you need to optimize your feed as well. Now, if you look at a usual feed funnel, it has these stages, which is you have the highest group of total products, which is literally all the SKUs that you have in your feed. Then you have approved, which is a smaller set of products which is approved in your feed health, right? And then you have in stock, which is among approved. You may have some out of stock product as well. So you have the next step, which is in stock, so slightly less probably from approved. And then you have targeted, and similarly you have impression and clicked. Now when it comes to feed optimization, you have the first three stages in your control, which is ensuring that you add all the SKUs in your, or at least all the bestseller SKUs in your feed, so that your total product size is significantly high. And then ensuring that you're closely monitoring feeds approval and its health in order to address any disapprovals and improving the rate of approvals from total products. So ensuring that your churn from total product to approved products is low, and then similarly for in stock as well. After that, the targeted impression and clicked are something which you can control through your Performance Max campaign itself, which is your Google Ads interface. So ensuring that you have a campaign running at least targeting all the products, ensuring that you are getting enough impressions, if not diagnosing those reasons for not getting impressions, and then improving your assets and feed targeting in a way that you get more and more clicks. So you need to optimize your campaign, especially if it's a feed based campaign, at all these six stages, right? Now, how do you understand or how do you look at the health of your product feed? Now, if you go to GMC account, within products, you have something called diagnostics. If you click on diagnostics, this gives you a holistic view of all the products that you have added. What percentage or what number of products are disapproved can also be showcased there, and you can either expand and look at the reason for those products to get disapproved. You can also look at the SKUs that are in stock and available for customer to purchase, because a lot of time we have noticed that you may have a lot of product approved, but then significantly high volume of those products are not in stock. Another area of improvement that you usually have when it comes to feed based campaign is to optimize your shopping ad itself, which means ensuring that all the components or all the anatomy of a shopping ad is well in shape. You have high quality images added, you have a proper title, including which includes brand, gender, product type, size, and other factors as well, ensuring that you have a very informative description and all the relevant keywords are added in your description as well. At the same time, also ensuring that you use other annotations, which is available for any feed based campaign, which includes rating and reviews, shipping charges, and other details. If you look at the best practices for product title, because product title can be a make or break component when it comes to shopping feed based performance max campaign, which is if you don't have an optimal title, your campaign's visibility can significantly be impacted. So what we have done here on this slide is we have put together a few categories that usually have feed based performance max campaign, which includes apparel, consumable, electronics, seasonal, and then books. And we have given you recommended structure that you need to create your title around. For example, under apparel, you have brand plus gender plus product type plus attributes. Attributes can be color, size, material, so on and so forth. So refer to this slide when you are next time optimizing the titles of your feed or optimizing title of your sale based performance max campaign. The examples are also added on the right side. With this, you will see there's a great improvement in CTR. Not only that, you will also see high impression share improvement in your performance max campaign, and for that matter, any shopping campaign. All right. With that, we are almost at the end. I think Pallavi have already explained how we can use this, which is you need to scan the QR code that you see on the right side of your screen in order to participate in this opportunity that we have, for all of you, which is you can either get a chance to meet the PM. You also can stand a chance to join the PE community, which is a very cohort community of product experts within Google Ads, and you can also win Google Swag. So those are all opportunities that you have currently. All you have to do is you have to scan the QR code that you see on the right side of your screen, and participate there. What I'll do now is I'll pick up a few of the questions that we have in the chat pending to be addressed, and we'll try to address them now. Let me bring those questions and put them on the screen. Needers has a question. Needers says, let me put that question in fact on the screen so that we all can see the query and the respond to it. So Nita says, how is Google leveraging its partnership with Pinterest to revolutionize Pmax campaign strategies, ensuring maximum reach and engagement across delivery, diverse user demographics? Now, while I cannot, comment on specifics of our partnerships with special or some of the placements that we cater to, what I can tell you is that we continuously improve our reach and our, placement management when it comes to our partners and their feasibility and their visibility when it comes to running performance max campaign along with other campaign types, right? So there is continuous improvement that you may notice in the future as well. But again, as I said, I cannot be able to comment on any specific partnership. Okay, we have another question. This one is from Mandy. Mandy says, what about if we simultaneously run a YouTube video campaign and active PMax? What impact will it have on our existing video campaign? That's a very interesting question. So here's the answer, right, Maddie. What happens is that when you run, except for a few cases, one of the cases, as I said, is when you have a search campaign running along with a performance max campaign, and your search campaign have keywords which is an exact match of the search query. In that case, search wins. Otherwise, performance max wins. In every other scenarios where you have a performance max campaign running alongside other campaigns, The ad rank is the numero uno factor which decides which campaign wins. So without having any internal conflict, without having any internal competition, we make sure whichever ad have better ad rank, they qualify for that auction. There are quite a few more questions. I know we are up on the time. So what we'll do now is we'll try to address these questions. We're making a note of all the queries we have received in the chat, by the way. And again, I really appreciate you all to ask all these wonderful questions. I know some of these questions would be valuable for all of us. So what we'll do is we'll try to collate all the questions, provide responses to all of them, and we'll share the responses with each and every of you who attended the session today. So in our post-session communication that we send out to all of you, will include responses to the queries that were asked in the chat. Again, I really appreciate you all for joining us today and being part of this session. In interest of time, I'll end the stream for the time being, and we'll get back to you with the responses to your queries. In our post-session communication that we send out to all the attendees. Thanks again for joining. Have a good day.